What do you do when you have just seconds left to live and you can't even see where to rest your head? In Paul Delaroche's The Execution of Lady Jane Grey, painted in 1833, a blindfolded teenager reaches forward into empty space, her hand trembling as she searches for the execution block. It's one of the most haunting gestures in all of art history, and it almost didn't happen the way Delaroche painted it. Stay with me, because there's much more to this painting than a tragic moment frozen in time. Lady Jane Grey was only 16, or possibly 17, historians aren't entirely sure, when she was beheaded on February 12, 1554. She'd been Queen of England for just 9 days. 9 days. Her crime? Being a pawn in someone else's political game. When Mary Tudor took the throne, Jane became too dangerous to keep alive, even though she'd never wanted power in the first place. Now, here's where Delaroche does something brilliant. He doesn't show us the moment of death. Instead, he shows us the moment before, the waiting, the confusion, the vulnerability. Jane is dressed entirely in white, a color that screams innocence, but also functions as this luminous focal point against the dark stone walls. Your eye goes straight to her. The executioner, dressed in red tights, stands to the side, waiting. He looks almost reluctant, doesn't he? Like he'd rather be literally anywhere else. To Jane's left, 2 of her ladies-in-waiting react in opposite ways. One collapses against the wall in despair, while the other turns away, unable to watch. Then there's this older man, probably the constable of the tower, who gently guides Jane's hand toward the block. It's a strange act of kindness in a moment of horror, helping someone find the place where they'll die. Delaroche was a master of historical drama, but he wasn't interested in cheap thrills. Look at how he uses light. It pours down from somewhere above, illuminating Jane and that terrible wooden block, while everything else fades into shadow. The architecture feels cold, ancient, suffocating. He's creating an emotional atmosphere, not just documenting an event. Here's something fascinating. This scene probably never happened quite like this. In the painting, Delaroche shows the execution taking place indoors in a dark, dramatic stone chamber. In reality, Lady Jane Grey was almost certainly executed outdoors on Tower Green, on a raised wooden scaffold. And that reaching gesture? Pure invention. But Delaroche wasn't making a documentary. He was making us feel something. He wanted us to understand what it means to be young, powerless, and caught in forces beyond your control. The painting became a sensation when it was exhibited at the Paris Salon. It struck a chord in 19th century France, where memories of the guillotine were still relatively fresh. People saw in Jane's execution echoes of their own history, the terror, the violence of revolution, the way power crushes innocence. And here's a detail worth noticing. The straw scattered across the floor isn't just decoration. It was placed there to absorb the blood that would soon be spilled. A grim, practical detail that Delaroche includes to remind us this beautiful, dramatic scene is about to end in violence. Delaroche painted this in his early 30s, and it became one of his most celebrated works. It hangs today in the National Gallery in London, still pulling viewers into that frozen moment of fear and grace. The painting asks us to witness, to feel, and maybe to think about how history treats its most vulnerable players. Lady Jane Grey never asked to be queen, and she certainly never asked to become a symbol. But Delaroche gave her something that history couldn't: our attention, our empathy, and a moment that refuses to be forgotten. So here's my question for you. When artists take liberties with historical truth to reveal emotional truth, does that make their work more powerful or less trustworthy? Share your thoughts below. I read every comment.